Hello dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is a review of the Moza MTQ Throttle Quadrant. Well, the new Throttle Quadrant, highly versatile Throttle Quadrant with a bank of autopilot buttons, loads more buttons, rotary switches, knobs, landing gear lever, all usable in Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024. Connectors on the actual Throttle Quadrant, which lets you use all the hat switches buttons there. Levers, reverse thrust and that type of thing. Just while I'm on that subject, this incredible unit lets you swap out those throttle handles for something like a 737 handle set or Airbus set sold by Moza, with working reverse thrusters and buttons and goodness knows what's on them, notched flaps, air brakes, your spoilers or air brakes. It's on the other side of the unit. Very versatile throttle quadrant, perhaps the most versatile throttle quadrant of its kind out there, which I'll be talking about in this video. In this video, I'm going to give you a full review of this throttle quadrant. Even show you it working in Flight Sim 2024 with the 737 aircraft to show you these throttle handles working and how they work. And then I'll give you my conclusion and thoughts of it at the end of this video. Just to add, it's got quite an intriguing price tag to boot. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. So let me be fully transparent. I was sent this throttle unit and extras from Moza weeks before this was released to the public. For us to get, it's myself and a few other content creators, for us to get a feel of it and to send any feedback on the unit. So I just want to be transparent on that. Now, cost of this unit. For the throttle itself, so the throttle system, it's $199, £199, or €219. Obviously, I'm going to release this video when the throttle is released, so do check the Moza website for up-to-date prices. But it's within the range for what this throttle contains and what you can do with it. It's a kind of high-end, very modular and versatile throttle. It's more budget-friendly. Now, it's not cheap, and I'm not going to say that, but it's more budget-friendly than the other high-end throttle systems. Just to give you an idea, the big brother of this is the Moza MTQ Throttle unit. I'll link a video I did about that down below in the description. That's over £300. Something like the Virpil throttle, just for example, highly modular, versatile throttle again. Again, you're looking over £300. And something like the Bravo, Honeycomb Bravo. Now, I have the Honeycomb XPC. I avoided the Bravo. I've got this fitted underneath my desk. Link to that sort of fixture unit as well down below, the video I did of that from Flight Simmer. It's a big unit though. If it was on top of my desk, it takes a lot of desk space up, and I'll come back to that point later, but you could see how compact this throttle unit is. The Bravo unit is as big as that, and I just avoided it for that reason. You know, I've got other things set up on my desk there, as you can see, and I wanted to keep some real, some space on my desk free for other reasons. So for £200 just for a throttle unit, and all it contains, and I'm going to go through all this in a moment. Autopilot buttons, switches, knobs, landing gear lever, modular switches and knobs that you can use on your throttle itself, depending which one you have attached. That's quite a good price for this model. It's priced perfectly. When they sent it me for review, I thought, don't be over £200, and it's not. £299, £200, $200, just over €200. Perfect pricing, in my opinion. Now, the extra units for the throttle. Now, I've got the 737 throttle. So these are things that you'll fit. You can remove these, and I'm going to show you that later. Remove these and actually put these in place. These are priced at $39, £39 each. And just a second, €45. Just had to check my note there. So $39, £39 each, which again is priced competitively. You're paying that price. I did a sort of 737 handle kit review for the Velocity 1 flight yoke system. And that was priced, between, I think it's around £35 or something of that sort. For roughly the same price, you're getting these. But these have connectors with them so that you can use all the buttons. I'm going to show you this later. Reverse thrusters, more buttons on the side. It lets you use extra features on these that you don't find with other similar handle sets. I mean, I've taken a look at some Bravo, for example, the Honeycomb Bravo replacement throttle levers that you can buy for the same price, yes, but they don't have half the features that these contain. So again, you know, you buy that and you would say, oh, I fly 737s mainly, or I fly Airbuses mainly. Buy the handle set that you want, the replacement handle set that you want, and Bob's your uncle. Away you go. So what does this contain? It gives you a closer up of the unit on all the features it contains. Obviously, one thing that struck me straight away were these autopilot buttons. You got things like autopilot master, toggle autopilot master, nav mode, heading mode, speed, flight directors, which you don't often find, altitude hold, fantastic. Banker buttons down here. Couple of rotary knobs, so I think I've got one set up for heading and the other for autopilot reference altitude, just for example. Switches here, I've got one of these set up for my EFB, and even a landing gear knob, which you don't often find on throttle systems, especially within this price range, with all the additional features that you get with this as well. There you go, another rotary button, and that's like a rocker switch. So, loads of buttons. And then, you know, just with the default handle, you've got all these hat switches. I always laugh at this because it's so many switches that you can play around with. I think that's just that's a rocker switch that way and that way. Looks like a 4-way PLV. That's more like a hat switch. Another one there, another one there. Rotary knob there. I mean, my goodness me, there's so much that you can do with this. And even things like the flaps. So these are notched flap systems. So as you can see, especially handy in something like the Airbus and GA and even the 737 aircraft. I'll get into that later and show you that in action later. But as you can see, notched flaps lever as well. And thankfully I've got this little slide out table addition. Let's not knock that off. Let me just move that. You've got speed brake there as well, where you can. It's got a button there even to arm it, and then you've got a speed brake lever. It's absolutely fantastic. So it's everything you want basically for GA flying and Airbus or 737 aircraft, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Now it does come on the throttle, hopefully my camera works not too messy here, on the throttle quadrant there, does come with a kind of notch thing. So to get over that, you have to lift those levers to get the full range. If you're flying GA aircraft, you get a little screwdriver included. You can remove this notch system, and that's what I would recommend if you're flying GA aircraft or even things like fighter jets. So you just get the whole smooth action without having to lift up those levers at the back. Unless you like that feeling, it's up to you. It's a very modular and versatile throttle system. Tell you what I want to do. I want to show you a quick flight test of this. Show you this up and running in Flight Sim 2024. I'm going to replace the handle set with the 737 handle set. I'll show you how versatile this is. There you go. I'm set up in the 737. It's a default 737 aircraft in Flight Sim 2024. So it's a 737 MAX aircraft. Just a random airport that I've chosen for this flight or for this test. Let me just bring in my camera. And you can see I'm just going to have to swap on. You can see my throttle quadrant. So if I move the throttles, there you go. By the way, with this handle set, the 737 handle set, that notch there doesn't catch on. You can see that it's got a hole there. So it'll give you the whole smooth movement of the throttle quadrant. I've actually got this button. It's autopilot disengage or something. I'm just going to press that to release the parking brake. And I'm just going to increase a throttle so I start moving. Just look at the top of the screen there. You should see me moving. I'll do it to where it doesn't beep. So about there. There you go. You can see I'm moving. Let it just come. So just say, for example, we're coming into land there. Oh, that'll do. Bring back the throttles. Now, reverse thrust. Pull back those levers. Look on the actual throttle quadrant there in the sim. So I've got reverse thrust on now. You should see me slow down rapidly. And just to work around this issue, I can take, once it's stopped, I can take those reverse thrust off. And I've got a button here just to reset where the reverse thrust is. So I can increase the throttle to about there so it doesn't beep. Let me hand go. Let the aircraft just speed up. There you go. Oh, that'll do. Bring back the throttle. Coming into land. Reverse thrusters on. Braking, of course, when you slow down. There we go. We're slowing right down there, aren't we? And there we go. Just while we're on that subject, let's just reset those reverse thruster switches. Just going to switch to the outside view. Watch what happens when I go reverse thrust. Yep. The engine's sort of open there just to bring in the reverses. Let's reset the state of that. As you can see, it works beautifully. Beautifully. Let me just switch. I'll try and keep you in view. I'm just looking at my keyboard, which is to the right of me. Oops. Put you in that view. That's what I wanted. Flaps lever. Now you can see these flaps levers. Let me just move this throttle quadrant here so you can see. You've got notches 1 to 4. Obviously there's more flap settings there. So you would have to either have your flaps. I've got it set in notches, so it goes to flaps 1, 2. In this case, on this one, 3, 4. Or I've actually got it on that setting to deploy flaps completely. You'd have to have that in increase or decrease flaps. I think it is in increments, so that it doesn't do that. In the Airbus, it's not an issue. With this one, you just have to change that setting. Speed brake. Let's not put this on the floor, please, Hudson. Speed brake. I've actually got a switch. It's got a notch switch at the top, so I can arm the speed brake by pushing that to the top. And then I can use my speed brake. When I don't want my speed brake armed, use that notch again. So I have it about there. There's a little button switch there within the lever set. Arm the speed brake. And there you go. Put it back down now. Now let me just switch my view again. Autopilot buttons. Not got any flight set up, but also, is that the right one? Autopilot master. It's going to give me alarm because I've got nothing set up. I've got this knob here. Look at my heading here. Just to give you an example. And there you go, I can change the heading. That's autopilot reference attitude, but I've not got it armed yet, so it won't affect it. And buttons for various different things. I think this one's my EFB, isn't it? It is indeed toggle EFB. But there you go. That's with the 737 handle set. And as you can see, those reverse thrusters work wonderfully. You've got to set them up a certain way, and I'll come to that later in this video about me sharing this profile with you. Then put them back down and I can reverse the state of it. It's just something you have to do with Flight Sim 2020 and 2024. And then I can increase or decrease. Pop my parking brake back on. There you go, my friends. Isn't that quite amazing? Let me take you now to my conclusion and recommendations. So conclusion and recommendations for this MTQ Moza Throttle Quadrant. You know, just before I get there, there's a couple of other features I want to bring to your attention. There's a little hole down here, you can see that. You get an included Allen key, and that lets you increase or decrease the tension for the throttle. It's like a dampener for the throttle, so you can have it as strong as you want, or less strong, let's just say, or as weak as you want, as fluid as you want there. So you can adjust that there. See if I can do this one-handed. Can do, it's only a small throttle system, which I'll get onto in a moment. It's got mounting holes and options there, so you can mount it to a rig. Included rubber feet, which help to keep it stable on a little desk. Link to this little fold-out desk in the description. It's from Amazon. It's foldable as well. Had to get this, and I'll come back to that point later with the throttle quadrant. Had to get this because I've got a lip on a desk, so if I got it on a desk there, I can't move the throttle to the full range, and that's with all throttle systems. So I got this little fold-out disc, which is very handy. So yeah, okay, and just a couple of other things. I want to be transparent with this review, because I want to guide you right. I think that's most important. Whether I got sent this or not, if it's not good, I'll tell you. If it's good, I'll tell you. If there's things I don't like about it, I want to bring them to mind. A couple of things that could maybe be improved. The landing knob there, it's quite simple. It's nothing substantial, but it could be seen as a good thing. You've got a landing gear lever on a throttle quadrant, and you don't often find that. Certainly on a bigger brother here, which I'll come to in a moment. So that's the MTP system. You don't have a landing gear lever. I do have, it's got many buttons, so I've just set up a sort of switch for that on that one. But here, yeah, even though it may be simple, it works just fine. And another thing I want to bring to your attention, which could be seen as, of course, as good or bad. It's quite a small system. Now, it's not quite as substantial as something like its bigger brother here. Full sort of metal design there, although this is very solid, I've got to say. But full metal sort of throttle lever there. Bazillion switches and knobs on that. But of course they had to make concessions, and that is reflected within the price. And look at it. On this little table there, it's not even taking up that little table space. When I have that set on here, it's kind of overhanging onto my desk, still usable and still firm. But this one, if you are short on space, or you don't like throttle systems like that because they are simply too big for you, they look too big, and that is a monster, but brilliant. But you want to save on space, this is absolutely ideal. And that's pretty much where any sort of negatives, and they're not really negatives in many ways, would stop with this throttle quadrant. One of the most versatile throttle quadrants I've ever had the pleasure to use and review. Absolutely love this bank of lit up, and you can adjust these with the Moza software as well, the lighting system of them. Love this bank of autopilot buttons here, which I've not seen like that, certainly, so accessible on other throttle quadrant. More buttons, rotary switches. Tell you what I'll do. Head over to my Discord. I think it's Hudson Controller Setups or Settings. I'm going to link, of course this is only available for PC, so if you get this, you must be on PC. Going to link my layout that I did for the 737. There's the handle set there. 737 aircraft. some of my settings within the sim in that channel in the Discord. So there you go. And there's so much you can do with it. With the handle sets, those are absolutely brilliant for airline pilots. Take them off, put this back on. You've got loads of, let's just focus back in, loads of hat switches and buttons you can use here. You can even remove that, have I got my hand in the right place? I do, with the included screwdriver. So you've got a smooth action without lifting up those levers, or keep it on if you don't mind lifting up the levers. Love the notches with the flaps there, absolutely brilliant for aircraft. And the spoilers, they've got it priced just right. You know, Moza being the new kids on the block for flight sim stuff, they are knocking it out of the ballpark. And of course, similar to the bigger brother there, you've got a sort of what are the RJ11 connections there? Am I? Yeah, just here. So you can daisy link it, daisy chain it with your other Moza Throttle products. They are thinking out of the box always when they're releasing new stuff. Loving this, loving what they're doing. Good price, good compact unit. Probably the most versatile throttle quadrant I've reviewed so far. Recommendation. Recommended. But do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.